If you feel bloated after simple meals, sleepy after lunch, hungry again within 2 hours of eating, or you are gaining belly fat even though you don't eat that much, there is a good chance insulin resistance is behind it. Now, most people wait until their blood sugar is high to take action, but that's late. Today, I'll show you how to catch insulin resistance early with simple checks you can do at home and the exact test to ask for at any lab in India, plus how to read the numbers in plain English. Now, before we start, a quick real life example. Abrar, a busy AVP, joined the 12-week lean body program. He came in tired, diabetic, and carrying a big belly. In just 10 weeks, his HbA1c fell from 8.4 to 6.6 and his waist went from 42.5 to about 40 inches. He says he no longer needs his afternoon nap and his energy, libido, and confidence are back. That's what the right test, meal order, and simple movement do. So what is insulin resistance? In simple words, think of insulin like a key that helps move sugar from your blood into your cells to be used as energy. When your body gets hit with frequent spikes, chai with biscuits, big rice plates, constant snacking, the locks on your cells become rusty. Your body needs more and more insulin to do the same job. That's insulin resistance. You may still have normal sugar, but you are running on high insulin in the background, and that's what drives belly fat, hunger, inflammation, high BP, high triglycerides, and later diabetes. The trick is not to wait for sugar to rise. The trick is to measure insulin and related markers early. Let's start with level 1. These are home checks that take about 10 minutes and require no needles. So these are not diagnoses, but they are strong clues. If 2 or more are positive, you should do the blood test I'm about to share. Now first, check your waist to height ratio. Stand straight, relax, and measure your waist at the navel in centimeters. Divide that number by your height in centimeters. If it's greater than 0.5, your risk for insulin resistance is high. For example, if your height is 170 centimeters, half of that is 85 centimeter. Now, if your waist is above 85 centimeter, that's a red flag. Second, notice your blood pressure after meals. If you feel heavy or sleepy and your BP trends high, that often travels with insulin resistance. Third, look for skin changes like acanthosis, dark, velvety skin folds on the neck or underarms, which is a classic insulin sign. Fourth, watch your hunger and crash pattern. If you get extremely hungry 2 to 3 hours after a carb-heavy meal and need a nap at 3 p.m., that's a strong hint. If this sounds like you, don't panic. It's fixable. Let's test properly. Level 2 is the basic blood work. Go to any standard lab and say you want to check for insulin resistance. Ask for fasting glucose in milligram per deciliter, fasting insulin in micro units per milliliter, which is the most ignored but crucial test. HbA1c in percent, a lipid profile focusing on triglycerides and HDL, and liver enzymes including ALT and AST, with GGT also being useful. Prepare properly for accuracy. Eat your usual diet for 3 days. Don't eat clean only for the test. Then do a 12-hour fast before the blood draw. Water is just fine. Avoid alcohol for 48 hours. Get good sleep the night before. And take no morning coffee, tea, or smoke before the sample. Now here is how to read the key numbers as a simple guide. These are educational ranges. Labs and doctors may use different cutoffs, so always discuss results with your physician. For fasting glucose, roughly 80 to 90 milligrams per deciliter is ideal. 91 to 99 means keep an eye on it. And 100 or more is in the impaired fasting range. For fasting insulin, lower is better. Many metabolically healthy adults sit around 2 to 6 microunits per milliliter. Anything above 8 to 10 suggests rising insulin demand, and above 12 to 15 often indicates insulin resistance is brewing even if glucose looks normal. You or the lab can calculate HOMA-IR using this formula. Fasting glucose in milligrams per deciliter multiplied by fasting insulin in microunits per milliliter divided by 405. Around 1 is great, 1.5 to 2 is an early warning, above 2 is likely insulin resistance, and above 3 means significant resistance. Again, ranges vary. Use this as a technical tool and show your doctor. For the triglyceride to HDL ratio, using milligrams per deciliter values, below 2 is excellent, 2 to 3.5 is caution, and above 3.5 makes insulin resistance likely. For liver enzymes like ALT and GGT, Mildly raised numbers or a fatty liver on ultrasound often ride with insulin resistance. If fasting insulin is high and HOMA-IR is elevated, even with a normal HbA1c, consider that your early catch. This is where change is fastest and easiest. Level 3 is the gold standard day, the oral glucose tolerance test with insulin. If you want a deep dive or if your basic panel looks borderline, ask for an OGTT with insulin. You will take a 75-gram glucose drink with blood draws at 0, 30, 60, 90 and 120 minutes for both glucose and insulin. What should you look for? Glucose rising is expected, but if insulin shoots very high and stays high, your cells are resistant. If glucose is still high at 2 hours, that's impaired tolerance. Even if it returns to normal, but insulin was huge, you are still likely insulin resistant. This test shows how hard your pancreas is working to keep sugars normal. Level 4 is a 7-day reality check with no gadgets required. If you don't want a CGM, do a 7-day food glucose challenge with a basic finger prick glucometer. Check fasting glucose each morning. Pick one meal daily and check at 60 minutes after the first bite. Note your meal composition and portion. A simple interpretation is this. Fasting is ideally about 80 to 95 mg per deciliters most days, and the 60-minute peak is ideally lower than 140 to 150 mg per deciliter. If you routinely spike higher after typical meals like rice bowls, sweets or juice, that's your personal insulin resistance map. This is powerful because it connects your own food to your own numbers, no theory. So what if you confirm you are insulin resistant? Now what? First, breathe. Insulin resistance reverses beautifully when you lower the number of daily insulin spikes and improve muscle uptake of glucose. You have heard generic tips before, so here are specific upgrades that actually move the needle. Change the order of your meals, not just what you eat. Start with veggies, then finish with protein and carbs. For an Indian thali, take salad first, then dal, paneer or chicken with roti or rice. This alone can noticeably shrink your post-meal surge. Use movement snacks after meals. In the first 60 to 90 minutes post-meal, the typical glucose peak window, do one of these for 10 minutes. An easy walk in your corridor or terrace, calf raises while watching TV because the soleus acts like a glucose sponge, or 10 to 20 body weight squats broken into small mini sets. These tiny moves teach your muscles to pull sugar from your blood without extra insulin. Add a protein anchor at each meal. Aim for a palm to a palm and a half of protein, eggs, paneer, curd, chicken, fish, tofu, dal, with a little whey if needed. Protein turns down ghrelin, your hunger hormone, and keeps you full so you stop grazing. Fix your nights to fix your insulin. Late, carb heavy dinners keep insulin high overnight. Bring dinner earlier when possible or shift the plate toward more dal, sabzi, and protein and slightly less rice or roti. Your sleep quality and morning hunger both improve. Use the 4S rule for cravings. Sip water with a pinch of rock salt, stand and have 5 slow breathe, walking for 2 minutes, and swap to a protein first snack like paneer cubes, curd with chaat masala, or roasted chana. This breaks the spike cycle. Then retest with purpose. After 8 to 12 weeks, repeat fasting insulin, fasting glucose, and your lipid profile. You should see lower fasting insulin, a better triglyceride to HDL ratio, and often a smaller waist even if weight loss is modest. That's metabolic healing on paper. Who should test now? If your waist to height ratio is above 0.5, if you have a family history of diabetes, PCOS, fatty liver, or early heart disease, if your past report shows high triglycerides or low HDL, if you have skin darkening at the neck or armpits called acanthosis, if you feel constant hunger, sleepiness after meals, or evening cravings, or if you have normal sugar but stubborn belly fat, this is your sign. Don't wait for HbA1c to rise. Check fasting insulin and calculate HOMA-IR. Let me answer a few commonly asked questions. So you'll ask, my HbA1c is normal. Am I fine? Maybe, maybe not. HbA1c rises years later. You can have normal sugar with high insulin for a long time. That's the early fixable stage. Let's talk about HOMA-IR. Lower is better, around 1 is great, 1.5 to 2 is a yellow flag, and above 2 means act now. Ranges vary, so discuss with your doctor. Next, do I need to go keto? No. You need to lower the number of spikes and improve muscle uptake. Many of my clients eat roti, rice, and dal. We just change the order, portion, protein anchor, and post meal movements. How often should I test? If you are high risk, test every 6 months. If you are actively reversing, repeat in 8 to 12 weeks to confirm progress, then every 6 to 12 months. If you are pregnant, on diabetes meds, or have a medical condition, talk to your doctor before testing or making changes. If you have watched this far, you don't just want information, you want change. And inside my 12-week lean body program, we don't give you crash diets or complicated gym plans. We help you lower daily insulin spikes with Indian foods you already eat, set protein anchors, fix meal order, and use 10-minute movement snacks after meals. You will know exactly what to test, how to read, and how to turn those numbers around. That's how clients like Abrar and others have dropped belly inches, improved energy, and brought insulin back to normal without quitting roti or rice forever. If you're ready to catch insulin resistance early and reverse it, watch the short video training and apply for the program. The link is below. We'll look at your lifestyle and your reports and build a plan that fits your work and family life. No extremes, just science that works in the real world. Before I end this video, I just want to make one thing very clear. We work with a lot of people who have early signs of insulin resistance, pre-diabetes, and even type 2 diabetes, and we have seen incredible results through lifestyle and nutrition changes. But if you have type 1 diabetes, then this program is not for you. Type 1 diabetes requires medical supervision and insulin management, and it's something that only a qualified medical professional should handle. So if you're dealing with type 2 diabetes or insulin resistance, we can absolutely help you with a structured plan through the 12-week lean body program. But if you are type 1 diabetic, please make sure you work closely with your doctor instead of making changes on your own. That's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.